9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Champions! Wrexham are promoted. They have their storybook ending.
You can walk through the fire. You can walk through the fire. When it's down to the wire. You can walk through the fire.
Howdy, y'all. Welcome to the Wrexham Texan. My name is Jake Green. Yeah, it's been a couple weeks. I was up in Montana last week, no, 2 weeks ago, and couldn't watch the game. We didn't have time to watch the match, so I didn't. I just didn't have anything to say because I didn't get to watch it. So I tried to watch the replay, but didn't have a lot of time to do that either. And then it just kind of fell by the wayside because that's kind of what happens. We're just doing a lot of stuff right now. We're trying basically to move full time to Montana, which means selling the house here. And there is a stupid amount of things to do. We're still building the house there. We have to get that finished. And then we have to sell the house here. And both of those are very time consuming, very stressful, lots of things to do. And so there's going to be a week here and there where I don't get a podcast out. So apologies for anybody who was waiting on that. My last one got quite a few views. It was the Birmingham Brawl one, where there actually was a brawl, and a very entertaining game. But yesterday was an annihilation. It was freaking, it was beautiful. It was a good game to come back to. It was the two games that I didn't get to watch so far this season are the two games that we've tied and lost. So, I think I might be Wrexham's good luck charm this year. As long as I'm watching, we're going to win. But before we get to that, head on over to PeacefulSea.network. We are launching our own streaming service. We have a bunch of podcasts with my company. We have documentaries. We have a movie. We're going to come out with some more. We're going to be acquiring some new movies, documentaries, and podcasts as well. So if you sign up for the Dollar Media Club, you will get access to all of these. We're still building the site. This is the home page of the site. You can go, can't find that right now because it's not there. Yeah, the Dollar Media Club, you'll get a whole bunch of things. There's a whole mess of perks involved with the DMC, and it will launch 1 week from today. 1 week from today, we'll be starting the Dollar Media Club, at which point you'll be able to get a subscription for $1 a month, the cheapest possible subscription that we have. You'll get access to our Discord, where you can interact with anybody from any of our shows in the different channels and stuff on Discord. And we're trying to build a community of people who just love very specific things. One of those things being Wrexham. And so, yeah, you'll get there are a lot of perks. So once that launches, we will release more information about that. Like I said, we have the Cascade Effect just launched, brand new investigatory podcast. We have Banished Big Brother, which I know affects a bunch of people in the UK. Banished Big Brother is a show about government surveillance and big tech surveillance, and how it is actually a massive hindrance and problem in your everyday life. This is my first documentary, was Endure Lebanon. And it basically, I followed a music producer, and he traveled to Lebanon and sought out some Syrian and Iraqi refugees, with whom he made a album of hope. And the album was unbelievable. It's called For Home, and you can go look for it on all your music apps. Like I said, we just have a bunch of shows. bunch of things, bunch of documentaries. And we're coming out with more, which I'm very excited about. All these are coming soon, with even more being acquired in the meantime. So go check it out. www.peacefulsea.network. You won't regret it. All right, y'all. Yesterday's attendance was 13,324. Fantastic. I have no doubt that look, a good home crowd always helps you win. Take it from a Texas A&M Aggie fan. A good home crowd might even be the deciding factor in a victory. We'll get to that here in a little while. I've decided I'm going to cover more of Texas A&M during this podcast, during each show. I'll do mainly the first half about Wrexham, of course. And then if you don't have any interest whatsoever in listening about American college football, then you can just end the show there. And but yeah, we'll talk about Texas A&M here in a little while because, like I said a few episodes ago, I was stoked to jump on this bandwagon a few years ago of the Wrexham fandom, and I would love to convert some folks to becoming lifelong Texas A&M Aggie fans, even though that's a life full of pain, regret, and sadness. It is what it is. Hang on. We have a dog howling in the other room. I have no idea why. She's not lonely. There are other dogs in there with her. But yeah, yesterday's attendance was awesome. The crowd was awesome. It was loud. You could hear it through the broadcast. And yeah, I mean, it definitely made a massive difference. All right, we're going to try something this week. Okay, I'm going to try to play the highlights and just talk over them. We're going to play it with no sound. And see, I want to see if we get booted off of our YouTube live stream, because we have gotten booted there before from playing just the freaking highlights. It's so dumb that I can't play highlights. It's basically just news. So we're going to play it without the sound and see if that makes a difference. But this is minute number 8, where Barney got it in the corner, dribbled around, launched it to McClean, who just put it in the perfect spot with his head. It was a thing of beauty. Barney, that dude, we got to sign that dude to a longer contract. He places so many crosses in the exact right spot. And he's so quick. He's like a little magician over there in the corner. And yesterday, we're going to get to that a little later, but yesterday even though McClean scored twice, Ryan Barnett ended up being the man of the match. And it's just because he's so dang good. Whoever 17 was, I forgot what 17's name was, but he took it to that dude all day, and guy just couldn't stop him. I mean, he crossed it at will whenever he wanted. He would dribble around him sometimes. It was a thing of beauty. There were a couple times when 17 got a block on it, but not very often. And here's their only goal. Horrendous marking. Who is supposed to be marking that guy? There were at least 2 guys on the back post that just got left. Just no one was covering them. It was a very embarrassing. It was a very embarrassing set piece for us. It was not ideal. And let's see, that was minute number 27. And then after that, we just kind of took over, and it took a little while for us to score our second goal, but I never felt like they were going to win after that. And Okonkwo almost got it. Like, Okonkwo almost blocked it, but that's on the defenders. Look how many people are standing away from that one attacker. Horrible defense. Yeah, there's miscommunication there, or somebody just got lazy. One of the two. And I couldn't tell who was supposed to be marking him. O'Connor, I don't know why O'Connor takes our free kicks. Maybe he's the best one. I'm not sure. Maybe he's the best at that. If someone in the comments wants to let me know. I don't see him being our best set piece taker. it just that shot or that pass that he did on that one wasn't great. This breakaway, oh my gosh, beautiful. People wanted a foul at the other end. I disagree. And there's Barney again, and marry it with basically had to twist his entire body in order to get that thing going the right direction. And if he hadn't, Elliott Lee would have cranked it in the back of the net. I have no doubt. He was sprinting up on the ball. Yeah, it's nice to see Marriott playing much, much, much better this year. He always hustled. Okay, he's always like all last season when we had him, he hustled his butt off. I don't know what that was, putting the ball in his jersey and sucking on his thumb. I don't understand what that was, but I don't. Yeah, I have no idea. I should probably go look that up. But yeah, he hustled his butt off last year. You could tell he puts in a lot of effort, but this year it's actually paying off, and he's getting goals as he should, because he's a very good player. And he makes the goalie really nervous. There were multiple times during this game where he almost, where he caused them to make a mistake and they had to kick it out of bounds, or they messed up and didn't kick it to the right place because he was hustling down the pitch to try to steal it. Oh, you think it means his wife is pregnant? Interesting. That's a funny way of showing it. I don't know if that would be my choice, sticking a soccer ball in my jersey and sucking on my thumb. I don't think that would be my go-to option for showing that my wife is pregnant. Then we go into the second half and Barney does it again. Barney just crushes it the entire game, directly to Elliott Lee, who heads it into the back of the net. What can you say? I mean, did Barney get 3 assists this game, or was it just the 2? Because McClean got 1 assist with the Marriott goal. So yeah, McClean got 2 goals and an assist, and Barney, I believe Barney got 3. I think the final McClean goal, which could technically be an own goal, I think it was Barney that launched it across the pitch yet again. But I mean, perfectly placed. Like, I don't know what Northampton is complaining about. It seems like anytime anything happens in the box, if a goal is scored, the defending team is complaining. Maybe just take responsibility and just know that you sucked that moment and you blew it. Let's see. I think this is coming down to the other. Yeah, here we go. They did have some moments where it looked like they could score. Okonkwo definitely had to reach for a few, including this one. Oof, just barely got it in that corner. Yeah, Okonkwo definitely had to make some saves. There were at least 3 that I can remember where he was fully stretched out and just barely got a hand on it. And he's what, 6'6"? So that's saying something. I mean, he's probably got a arm's length of like 7'1". This was beautiful. Let's see. Somebody's at our door right now. Doorbell just rang. I have no idea who that is. Sorry, I was distracted. Let me go back. Yeah, Barney got 3 assists. And this, I don't know what the rules are on this. Glenna, you are just on it today. You're just friggin' on it. Thank you for letting me know. 3 assists. My thing is, I want McClean to get credit for this goal. It was not going in. Their guys, the defenders knocked it into the goal. It was 100% going wide of the goal. Apologies for the dog barking in the background. Like on FOTMob, it still says it's a McClean goal, but man, it was not going in. So technically speaking, I don't think he should get credit for it, though he did put it the right direction and launched it off a defender's chest or stomach or side or whatever it was. overall, y'all, yesterday, I mean, this is the point where Mullen almost got that goal and McClean almost got a second assist. How Mullen didn't score that, I don't know. He was just facing slightly the wrong direction and hit it too far to the right. Because if he had just gone 2 feet to the left, that's a goal. I mean, it was a line drive of a header. And so, yeah, it would have been nice to see Mullen get out of his funk. But y'all, I don't think we got booted off. I don't think we got booted off YouTube just then, which is pretty cool. We will. Maybe that's the way to do it. Maybe it's the audio that gets tagged, and maybe it's the audio that gets tagged and gets you removed from YouTube, because that's what happened to me last time, and I only played like 45 seconds of highlights last time I got booted from YouTube in the middle of a live stream. So I think that's the way to do it, is just me talk over the over the highlights. So overall, look, I thought McClean, I know that Barney crushed it yesterday. He did get the man of the match. In fact, let's see, there we go. Yeah, Barney got the man of the match, which well deserved. I think it was a coin flip between him and McClean. I think, McClean got 1 assist, 2 goals. Barney got 3 assists. Barney did keep it on our end and bring it up the field quite a bit. But man, McClean played, he was killer yesterday. He dominated for us. And I mean, in the end, it doesn't really matter. We got the W. So it doesn't matter who the man of the match was in the long run. But my vote would have gone to McClean. Although I understand why Barney was chosen. All right, let's look at some statistics. Possession, we dominated 60% there. Well, 59 to 41. So I guess not an utter domination. They did have long streaks. I guess not too long, but long-ish streaks of maintaining ball possession and momentum. They did have a good amount of shots. Like I said, they had 2 big chances, converted on one of them. The player of the match on FOTMob, who got the best rating, was McClean with a 9.1. Actually, yeah, let's see what was Barney. Did Barney get... Barney got a 9.0. Wow. See, I mean, it was a coin. It's a coin flip for the man of the match for us. Seriously. 9.0, 9.1, our wingers absolutely slaughtered them, which just means McCarron, that was his name. McCarron had no business guarding Barnett, and McGowan could not handle McClean. That's basically what it came down to. Whenever they were up the field, up the pitch, they were absolutely destroying their man. I mean, he went out at 41 minutes. Was that the guy who got injured? There's one guy who got injured. Who got injured? There's somebody. It looked, he walked off crying. It looked bad. It looked like he tore his ACL to me. I've torn my ACL twice, and that's exactly what it looked like. Where was it? 41. McGowan. Let's see. Yeah, was he the guy? I wish they would say who got injured during the game on this site. They do everything else. Man, they give you so much information on this site. That's one thing that would be really nice to see. Just injuries. Who went off because they were injured. Because there's a big difference between going off just because you're subbed or going off because you got injured. Yeah, I don't see it, but I think McGowan was the one who did get injured, because he walked off crying, and it was very upsetting. I mean, you don't want everyone to see anybody get injured. That's no good. Especially something that bad. You could tell it was terrible, because you don't normally see soccer players cry. You see them wail a lot, and you see them writhe around on the ground for no dadgum reason, but you don't really see them cry very often. And so tearing your ACL, that's a season-ending injury. He wouldn't be back till next year. I just think that's exactly what happened, because his knee just kind of bent out instead of forward and back, or instead of backwards. His knee bent to the side. So, yeah. So hopefully he gets better sooner rather than later. Let's see. Let's look at some statistics. There's our shot map, mostly in the middle. We've got one out wide, but mostly within the 6-yard box, within the width of the 6-yard box. Obviously, not within the depth of it. The majority of their shots came from outside, came from far outside. Actually, a few of them, and then with a few in the front to the right. The only time they got a ball shot from the left-hand side up close, they scored it. Let's see. Oh, cool. Man, FOTMob. I don't know if y'all use FOTMob, but FOTMob.com is a phenomenal site for tracking this stuff. They give so much detailed information that I'd love to look at. They had 5 corners. We had 4. They scored off one of those corners. Like I said, horrendous set piece for us. Absolute glitch on our part. I don't want to bore everybody with too many statistics, but look, normally we do not have this statistic. Normally we don't have 122, 124 more passes than the other team. Birmingham, I mean, I think it was like 75% larger for them than it was for us. We dominated on the passes this game. Our passing was great. We had some where just in the middle of it, we weren't going to go score or anything, but I was exclaimed out loud. Like it was, it was a good day of passing. 78% accuracy, 169 in our own half and 161 in the opponent's half. Yeah, I thought we played extremely well. Who's our yellow card? They had 2 yellow cards, which I think they deserved. Oh, it was McClean. Yeah, yeah. Of course it was McClean. You know it was going to be either McClean or Dobson. It's going to be one of those two. I love that all 3 of our goals came from the left-hand side, which means, yeah, Barney sucked everybody in on the right-hand side, would launch it across, and none of these guys could recover in time. That's basically what happened the entire day. Hoskins, Sowerby, Baldwin, and McGowan just got burned, mainly while looking at what Barney was doing on the opposite side of the field, and forgetting to mark their man or not marking them well enough. And so I don't know if you can attribute everything to us being incredible. We were incredible, and it was amazing, but they just weren't very good. They definitely just weren't very good. We can go look at let's go look at the table for a minute. We're now in second place, though. If you do a little bit of math here, the every single one of the top 7 teams have a game in hand on us, and Mansfield and Lincoln are within 3 points. So technically speaking, I would consider us in 4th place. I just assume, I like to assume the worst and hope for the best. So I assume we're going to lose that game in hand, or all of them are going to win. That's what I assume, is Mansfield and Lincoln will win that game in hand, along with Birmingham City. They don't even have to, but I think they would, which would put us down in 4th place, which would put us in playoff contention. I do not like assuming that we are in 2nd place right now. I think I don't like the game in hand stuff. It's annoying when you are the one who doesn't have a game in hand. When you're the one who has a game in hand, you have all this hope. And you just assume that you just assume that you're going to come out on top. But when I don't know, when we're the only one in the top 7 who's played 10 games, I just assume we're going to end up 4th place once all that evens out. So I still think we're going to end up in automatic promotion, but I think right now we should be considered a 4th place squad in League One. Yeah, dadgummit. I wanted to see, why did I click that? There we go. Yeah, Northampton, they're almost down in relegation. Okay, Crawley dropped down into relegation yesterday. They were up here where Leyton Orient was, but Northampton dropped down. Now they're 5th from the bottom. They're just not that good of a team. They've lost 4 in a row, and drew the one before that against. Oh, they did draw against. Wait, Oh, they lost 3 in a row. My bad. That was Crawley. They've lost 3 in a row. They beat Huddersfield, and then they lost the one before that. So they lost 4 out of the last 5. And they're just It's not like it's not like anybody in this league is bad, but I would try to not get too excited about beating the 20th ranked squad in our league. So, all right, let's look forward to the next game, which actually the next game has been postponed. Wrexham versus Lincoln next Saturday, this coming Saturday, has been postponed due to international call-ups on Lincoln. So there will be no match on Saturday. I will still have a podcast a week from today. I will still be airing a podcast, and it will be mainly about this EFL trophy game, which absolutely everyone super duper cares about. Am I right? I'm going to try to watch this game on Tuesday. I haven't watched a single trophy game this year, but I don't think I'm doing anything that day at 2:30 in the afternoon. So I'll probably be watching that game, and I'll give you my thoughts on it. Yeah, cup game Tuesday night for sure. Glenda, I just don't consider them like real games unless it's the FA Cup. The EFL trophy is fine. It is what it is. I mean, we're playing an academy team. I never liked that. I don't like that the big squads get to send their academy teams down. It drives me insane. Why do we have Wolverhampton in the EFL trophy if they're not going to actually play their squad? That stuff drives me nuts. So yeah. And then the next game after that would be the next Saturday. So we're going to have a long break in between 2 games, which is good. Give Max Cleworth time to rest up. I don't even know if I should give a prediction for the Wolverhampton game. I'm going to say 2-0. It's at our home. I'm just going to say 2-0, knowing nothing about them. And you're right about that. You're right about that, Glenda. It gives us a chance to see players who haven't had a lot of minutes. I agree with you. There is some benefit to it, but I think that's more. It's almost like a practice game. It's not something that I care about in the grand scheme of things. You're right. I care more about it to see players who don't normally play. Like I want to see Reven play. I don't think he's gotten enough play time. I want to see Rathbone play. I do think Reven. We just have such a good squad. It's really annoying. I know it's it's like first world problems to complain about having too many good players, but I don't want to waste talent. And we have a lot of talent sitting on the bench, and I would like for more folks to be able to contribute and find ways for them to be used well with our squad. Like I think that I think if somebody's sitting on the bench for too long, there's a negative mental aspect to that as well as a negative physical aspect to that. And I don't want to see Reven and Mullen and Rathbone and and Boyle and like all these guys sit for the rest of the season during League One matches. Like I want to see them get into some matches, and they will. Like George Evans is going to get some because George Dobson is going to get suspended. That guy picks up yellow cards left and right. So like we will see some of that. McClean will get suspended at some point. We all know that's going to happen. So there will be, we'll see some Jacob Mendy. We'll see some Reven. We won't see them as much as I would like. But then again, I also like winning. And if we're doing something well and we're winning, then so be it. So be it. It does give us a lot of trading power during transfer windows. So we could earn some money back or get a player where we might be lacking, or if somebody gets injured. Obviously, we have some backups. So that's helpful. But overall, I don't I just want to see some other folks play. Is he really out for the rest of the season? Did I miss something? Dadgummit. I missed 2 games. Yeah, so I may have missed that. Well, that would suck. I'm terrible at keeping up with the news in between matches, especially when I miss a couple weeks. So if George Evans actually is out for the rest of the season, that is very unfortunate. And I guess Rathbone maybe will be coming in for him. Got a few folks that could fill Dobson's spot. Let's see. Yeah, I guess it'd be Rathbone. So I'm okay with that. Yeah. He broke something and needs an operation, I think on Tuesday. Good Lord. Glenda, you're just a wealth of knowledge. That was awesome. Thank you. But yeah, okay. Well, if George Evans is going to be out, which is very unfortunate because I thought he was one of our players of the season last season. Ollie Rathbone, I'm very interested to see more of him. So that's not the worst case scenario for us. It's not great, obviously. I don't want anybody to get hurt, but Mo Fall, I would love to see him play a little bit. I would love to see Luke Bolton out on the field again. Stephen Pletcher's playing about as much as I would hope. I want to see Mullen play a little bit more. Who else? Elliot Lee's playing exactly how much I want him to play. I'm really hoping Cleworth gets to come back soon. Scar, I thought Scar did pretty well yesterday for not playing very much this season. And then Lewis Brunt came in. I thought they played well. I didn't have any issues with them. I don't know who missed that mark. Could very well have been Scar. I don't know who missed that mark on the 1 goal they scored. But overall, I thought they played great. And then Okonkwo is just a beast. Okonkwo is just a beast. I love Okonkwo. All right, y'all. Yeah, I'm going to guess 2-0 on Tuesday night. And then, yeah, I'll do a podcast next Sunday about that game because it'll give me 5. If I don't get to watch it on Tuesday afternoon, then I'll watch it before Sunday and I'll give my thoughts. And then I'll actually be well researched at that point since I have that Saturday morning off. Maybe I'll just do some research and hopefully we'll have some Max Cleworth news by then. Yeah. I mean, it was a great game yesterday. I'm nothing but smiles. I was so happy yesterday. And part of the reason for that was because my Texas A&M Aggies walloped the Missouri Tigers. Texas A&M is ranked number 25 in the nation. Missouri is ranked number 9, and we are both in the SEC. And for those who don't know, y'all, we're transitioning right now into talking about American college football. So if you have no interest in that, it is what it is. No hard feelings. I get it. But I'm going to talk about the way you introduced me to Wrexham. I'm going to talk about Texas A&M because I love Texas A&M. I grew up going to the games all the time. It is a one-of-a-kind experience. Actually, I'll show you what it looks like. Show you what the stadium looks like. This is the stadium. That's the stadium. This is prior to the game starting. It's a Black Hawk helicopter flyover, and that stadium was filled by the time the game started with 97,000 people, and that is amateur, like it's college level American football. Let's just pause it right over this. I mean, look at that. That is crazy how many people can fit in that stadium. Yeah. And so I grew up going to games all the time. The stadium was a little bit different back then. It held fewer people. It didn't have that end zone. There was no end zone stands down there. But it did. We normally would sit in this little section right here, pretty close to the field. There are a few times when we've sat up here, and I've sat down at that end before as well. But we used to sit right down here in the corner, and it's an experience like nothing you've ever experienced before. I've yet to take my wife to a game, but mark my words, she will be going to a game at some point in time. 97,000 fans. We give a couple thousand to the opposing squad, so maybe up to 10, possibly at the like most generous allocation. So it's over 90,000 people cheering for the same team in one place. It is loud. It is. We attempted to break the record for loudest stadium of all time. The issue is we were competing against stadiums that are at a higher altitude. So this altitude's like 100 feet. It's nothing. It's basically sea level. And the higher you get, the farther the sound travels. And so Mile High Stadium in Denver still has the record, but they had a decibel meter out on the field, the game that I went to, and it was, I mean, so close to beating that record. But yeah, we smoked them. I'm going to play the highlights and talk over it real quick. I was able to watch the game on my phone because we were traveling down to see some friends yesterday after the Wrexham game. And we were going into this. We were the underdogs. No one thought we could beat Missouri. Missouri is in the Southeastern Conference along with us. The SEC Conference is known for being the hardest conference in college football. And just the most number of good teams play in the SEC. And we weren't given a shot. No one picked us to win. No one understood that we are actually an extremely good team this year, and that when playing at home, similar to Wrexham, you should not doubt that we can win, because our fans are known as the 12th man, and they are it's like having another player on your team. Let's see if we can see how loud it is here.
Tackle for a loss, and it's Nick Scorton. Who else?
I gotta get it in the right.
Wigman.
There we go.
Pressure is picked up. It gives him a chance to go downfield.
What a
And with
catch!
He gets it to Ja'Day Walker.
Yeah, Ty goes to the
Wrestling
receiver.
that ball from
in
Trey
American football,
Norwood.
so.
Ja'Day Walker comes up huge.
Unbelievable. Yeah, I wish there was a way to show you how loud this stadium gets. There just isn't. If you're ever in Texas during college football season, this is the team to go see, because it's just something that you don't experience most places. You wouldn't even experience this amount of noise at a Premier League game, to which I've been. And yeah, it's just something different. It's something else. I don't really understand how they get so loud, but we do. And most Aggies stand the entire game and scream their faces. I come away hoarse at the end of every single Aggie game. Can't talk. I had something to say and now I forgot what it was. Yeah, so A&M started out the season. We lost our first game. And for those who don't know, college American football is basically a 12-game season. There's 11 to 12 games per season, depending on the team. Look at Le'Veon Moss go. Look at him go. And so in the past, if you lost one game, you're pretty much you pretty much cannot win the national championship. You can't win it. However, they expanded the playoffs this year to include 12 teams, which means 4 teams get a bye week and 8 teams play in the first round. And so you can lose one game. You can even technically lose 2, depending on your strength of schedule. But we lost our first game. It was upsetting. But since then, we've won 5 in a row, including beating the number 9 ranked team in the country. We were ranked number 25 before this. We will 100% go up quickly. This was the locker room after the game. Just a big old celebration. So good. So good. Yeah. So that's what happened with A&M this week. I'm going to give y'all an A&M update each week. Actually, I can even pull up the conference standings. So here's the thing. In college football, it's not just based on wins and losses. Okay. It's weird. And slightly frustrating at times, but there are many conferences. So there are about 140, 120 teams in college football. And there are better conferences and worse conferences and better teams and worse teams, obviously. But the rankings, like where you are and like the odds of you getting into the playoffs are determined based on your rankings. So there will be a poll. There will be two kinds of polls: the Associated Press poll, which is press and media and analysts of the game, and they will pick who they think are the best teams each week. So each week a new set of rankings comes out. There's also the coaches poll, which is all the coaches of all the teams basically make their own decisions, and they say these are the teams that we think should be ranked at this number. So right now in the Southeastern Conference, which has 16 teams, I think. Let me throw this up there, and you can count with me. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. Yeah, 16 teams. We are number 1 in the SEC. We've only lost one game, and it was to a team that wasn't in the SEC. It was to Notre Dame at the beginning of the season, and they were ranked very high. I think they were ranked like 3rd or 4th when we played them. We have 186 points for, 100 points against. We've won 5 in a row. We're 5-1 overall, and that's a phenomenal record. The issue is, coming into this week, we were ranked number 25. We were actually tied with UNLV at 25 in the AP. In the coaches poll, we were 21. The coaches poll does not determine who gets to the playoffs. The CBS Sports ranking doesn't mean anything, so we're not even going to look at that. Around week number 7 or 8, there will be a BCS, Bowl College Championship Series ranking that comes out. And that's determined another way, which we'll get to whenever that happens. But it takes both of these polls into account, as well as the records and performances of all the teams. And so Texas A&M started out 25 down here this week. The new rankings will go up today, probably this evening, Eastern time, or tomorrow morning. And we will undoubtedly get put up here in the teens. This is the team that beat us at the very beginning of the season. They're ranked number 14. I bet we jumped to like 17, 16, somewhere in there. If you ask me, I think we should jump to like 13 or 12. Whatever. We should, but they're not. They don't. A&M doesn't get a lot of respect because we've never done anything in the past. We just don't get a lot of people who believes that we can win, other than us, probably delusionally, but we do think we can win every single game. Let's see what happened with some of the other top 10 teams. I don't care about all the games. I just want to see week 6 top 25 teams. Okay. Louisville lost, so we'll definitely jump over them. Penn State won, Georgia won, Indiana won, Ohio State won, Ole Miss, Alabama. Number 1, Alabama lost to Vanderbilt, which means Texas will now be number 1, which sucks. Texas is our biggest rival in our history. Texas versus Texas A&M, huge rivalry. I hate Texas. Number 10, Michigan lost, which sucks for my sister-in-law. Number 4, Tennessee lost. Number 11, USC lost. Miami won on a last-minute drive. Number 25, UNLV lost. Oregon won. Okay, so we're definitely going to hop up a lot in those rankings. We will definitely be somewhere in this mid-teen range, which is pretty exciting. We started the season, I think, number 21, dropped out of the rankings, and then worked our way back in, winning 5 straight. And so winning 5 straight, it's a huge deal. Like, they're going, like, when they make the final rankings, they will take into account when we had our losses. So the fact that we lost our first game, but then have won 5 straight, if we keep winning, they'll take that into account and be like, okay, they were still finding themselves in the first game, and then they found themselves and progressively got better. And so they will take that into account. And if everything goes well, if we don't pull an A&M, I think we'll get into the playoffs this year, which would be, it would just make my whole year. Wrexham is the only team, or A&M's the only team I care about more than Wrexham as far as professional sports at this point. And I've been cheering for them since I was born, going to Aggie games since I was born. So much like many of y'all with Wrexham. So there you go, y'all. That's what's happening. And that's my analysis of what happened with Wrexham this past week. I like that we bounced back. I like that we didn't continue in the groove that it kind of felt like we might be heading in. I remember last season we lost a couple, and then it just kind of snowballed around the January time frame. Just kind of snowballed into us losing a lot and tying a lot and not getting a lot of victories, especially on the road. So it was nice to see us bounce back and just not fall into that rut that you can so easily fall into if you don't have the right mentality. Parky knows what he's doing. He's good in the locker room. He is a phenomenal manager, and I'm very happy that he's stuck with the same squad that has been performing so well. So yeah, that'll be it for this week, folks. Tune in next week. Go to www.peacefulsea.network. Join the Dollar Media Club when it launches next Sunday. And if you want to get in contact with me, the best way to do that is through my Twitter, which is WXMTexan. It's down there in the bottom left-hand corner of the screen. WXMTexan. I'm not all that active on Instagram. I'm far more active and check Twitter far more, or X. Check X far more than I do Instagram. I should start live streaming these to Instagram so that there's at least something going on my Instagram. But if you're not a social media person, you understand, like I have so many social media accounts, and I don't like really being on social media or doing any of that, but I do it because it is fun interacting with a bunch of Wrexham folks, and just it's a good way to get your business out there. So have to do it. All right, y'all. That'll be it for this week. Thanks so much for watching. Up the town.
Search my soul with all your heart. You're gonna see it. You're gonna see it. And if you knock my soul with all your strength, you're gonna find it. You're gonna find it.